We begin tonight with a lawsuit that has been filed by the family of an Alice man who is said to have died during the freezing temperatures during the winter storm blackout.
It is the first lawsuit of its kind here in South Texas. It names ERCOT and AEP Texas as defendants in the case. And our Bill Churchwell has been following this top story throughout the day.
This is a case where, unfortunately, Mr. Guzman literally froze to death in his home, which is something that should never happen to anyone.
Patrick Love is part of a legal team of attorneys from across the state representing the family. That team includes local Corpus Christi firm Gowan Elizondo. Now, the lawsuit states that Abelino Guzman's house remained without power for several days when Alice's temperatures dropped to 17 degrees. They say he died of hypothermia. Now, according to his obituary, he was only 44 years old.
He had 4 children, and you know, he was not in bad health.
The lawsuit states that on February 16th, Guzman's girlfriend, who is a certified nurse's assistant, noticed Guzman's skin turning blue and that he was having trouble breathing. The lawsuit stated that she began performing CPR while calling for an ambulance, which was delayed by road conditions. Guzman died shortly after arriving at the hospital. The lawsuit also states that 4 million Texans, including Guzman, lost power during the winter storm, and that leading up to the storm, ERCOT, AEP, and AEP Texas could have increased electric production capacity, but chose not to do so, leading to the massive blackouts.
Listen to the media and you hear some of the reports that are coming out from the energy companies and from ERCOT. I think the impression you get is that this was a very complicated situation that caused the power outages, caused the power failures. And in reality, the things that caused these power outages and the ways that we could have prevented them were very, very simple.
We reached out to both ERCOT and AEP Texas. ERCOT telling 3 News, quote, "We continue to review all lawsuits and have no comment at this time." AEP Texas responded with this statement, also telling us they are unable to comment on any ongoing or pending litigation. The plaintiffs are suing for compensation of emotional pain, torment, and anguish on behalf of Guzman's children. Bill Churchwell, 3 News.